All right, man. Good to see you all again. Just excited to get back up on the horse here and get ready to go to Bowling Green and play this weekend. Thought I was awfully proud of how our kids played last weekend. We asked them to our one thing. I didn't want to disappoint coach. I wanted to make sure when he turned the film on that we played our guts out up there, and I thought our kids did it. They put a cover over the scoreboard and got after it for 60 minutes. And gave us a chance to win in the fourth quarter. Had a lot of great performances. Had almost 500 yards from the offense. Dak Allen had another great game. And then defensively we played really well. We had some untimely penalties that kind of hurt us and had a couple turnovers. Got things to address. And I think that's the biggest good characteristic of a football team is how much they improved between week 1 and week 2. And so we're excited to attack that. We've addressed that this weekend and had a great practice yesterday and ready to go up to Bowling Green and tee it up and get this thing on.
Coach, talk about the sideline and how things were on the sideline. You got down, made a good comeback, got down again. And you talked about, that was one thing you said, and you mentioned it last week. You just kept talking about how hard you wanted to see this team play. So what was the emotions and the vibe on the sideline throughout that game?
I thought it was great. I really did. I mean, we had some guys step up that were vocal, and sometimes it doesn't always need to come from us. And I was proud of some of our guys. Not going to single any of them out, but they did a good job of of getting the message across that hey, we're just going to keep playing and getting after this thing. And they trust the coaches. That's, and I go back to that. I talked about that last week, but, the game of football, not to get philosophical, but it really, we're asking them to go out there and perform a skill that they're probably going to fail at some level. It's not going to be perfect. And then they got to trust our coaches enough to come over to the sideline, reteach it, recoach it, and then go back out and perform it better the next time they go out. So there's a lot of trust back and forth. And I think that trust comes from, all the time that those guys have spent with them, both on the offensive and defensive side, and making those adjustments and those kind of things. And they did, they listened and, gave us an opportunity to win in the fourth quarter. Nobody panicked. I think that was the biggest thing. You had a chance, and I thought we had we talk about the middle eight. The middle eight there, we won the first 4 minutes of it right before half, forced a turnover there, scored and forced a turnover, and then we lost the second middle eight. And, but nobody panicked. Nobody, I thought we had a lull sometimes, like Sam Houston last year. We knew the fury was coming. Coach talked about it. And then we end up, when it happened, we didn't react to it well. I thought we did this time out and did a good job with it.
Having the sample size, you've been here before after a game, but you're serving in a different role right now. Do you feel like there's anything that having that first game under the belt, you guys can adjust from just approaching the game, or do you feel like, you've been here before, so just keep playing football, keep sticking to the plan?
No, I think you got to learn from your mistakes. I mean, it's part of life. And I think we know we got the ball down there in the red zone, and we had a for sure field goal with Patrick Nations, and, we turned the ball over. So I thought that was the one thing. I thought our kickoff coverage was very subpar, and we have to address it, whether it was, the kicking the ball to the 7 or 8 or just not covering it well. So those are things that we got to fix. Give credit to them. They did a good job, and they kind of got on the roll in the return game. But, we've got to look at that. You've got to be, transparent, and don't bring your feelings in here and look at what we did well and what we didn't. On defense, I didn't think we played as disciplined. We had some penalties that were extended drives, and we got to fix that. So those are the 3 biggest things I took away from it: the turnover in the red zone, and then the kick coverage, and we can fix that. Some of it's scheme, some of it's just the depth of the ball where it went. And then lastly, the untimely penalties on defense to extend drives.
Was Walt told not to watch the game? Did he watch the game? And what was the conversation afterwards?
Come on, man. You know him better than that. They may have told him one thing, but thank goodness he was feeling well enough to watch the game. And so we're pleased that he did that. So he was able to watch the game every single play. And of course he had feedback from that, and that's good. And then I was able to meet with him on Sunday and just talk about the week and what the week looks like and those kind of things. So it was awesome. A week ago, we're sitting here, and then Sunday I'm sitting at his house and get a visit with him for a couple hours and kind of plan out the week as we're going forward.
And then also being an offensive lineman, former high school head coach, I'm sure you probably had some dealings with Guy Morris. Just talk about him a little bit with his passing today.
Yeah, Coach Moore's a class act. Had a chance to work a ton of camps with him when he was at Kentucky, and I kind of got in on the ground floor when Coach Mummy and Coach Franklin, all those guys came. Leach, Hatcher. That was an all-star staff, and he's just a class act from day one. And very sorry to hear of his passing. Our prayers and thoughts go out to him and his family and all the people he touched. Played 13 years in NFL and but then the job he's did everywhere. But he was a true gentleman, always treated us high school guys. He treated everybody exactly the same and treated them with respect. And I really learned a lot and enjoyed working those camps with him.
Coach, offensively, you guys put up some huge numbers. What's going to be the key to carry that momentum on that side of the football forward to this week's game?
I think the key, going into this week, we've got to make sure we understand what we're preparing for, and we're going to prepare for. They're going to bring them from out of the stands. They're going to bring them out of the tunnel, out of the stands. You get off the bus, they're going to start blitzing. So any pressure that you can ever imagine, they run. And I think that's big this week. We started yesterday, but knowing, what you're preparing for. So we know that's coming. So don't be surprised Saturday, when they start bringing, blitzes from all over the place. And so that I think that's a key offensively is keeping Parker upright, and then Parker recognizing, where his hots are, those kind of things, and taking advantage of those one-on-one situations. So it's one of those deals where somebody's band's going to be playing. They're either going to be playing and excited that, that they've got a pressure or a sack on you, or we're going to be, playing and excited because we got a touchdown.
TK, there was some big plays from the Eastern Michigan offense. But what were they doing that you all were, I guess, unable to kind of counteract that in the early part of the game?
They was running a little outside zone that was tough for us. Like Coach said, it really was the penalty that killed us. We shot our own self in the foot, man. We could have beat those guys. The penalties took over the game for us, man. That's it.
Well, with a veteran team like you guys have, is that something that you guys are worried about, or was this just a one-time thing in this first game?
Oh, it's the first game. You got to get all the jitters out. That's how I feel. I don't think it'll happen again.
What was it like on the sidelines not having, Coach Wells there, and just what were, I guess how different was it from a year ago?
I guess, Coach Wells always going to bring the juice with him. So I guess the guys came ready to play, though, man. I don't know, man. Just, I guess the other team fought harder, man.
What do you take from last week? That needs to be the concentration on your guys. Obviously you said you brought it. You felt like you played well, but there are changes that you make from week to week. What is that for this week?
Practice harder, and we just got to stay consistent between all 4 quarters, man. Like first half we came out on fire, rolling. Then second half we came out a little lazy, and that's what came and got us there. So we just got to stay consistent all 4 quarters, and we'll be okay for next week.
I can tell this one bothers you a little bit, not getting this one. Obviously, you're a competitor. That's how it goes. But going into this game Saturday, what have you seen on film for against Bowling Green that you feel like you guys can go out there and change the result?
They kind of run the same stuff as Eastern. A lot of 12 personnel outside zone. So we just got to keep working that at practice this week, and we should be fine. Same schemes. They probably gonna hit it with more, they probably gonna hit us with more outside zones since they seen Ishton hit us with it. So got to get ready for that.
Jaden, as you all go on the road again this week, it's going to be very similar to what you all did last week. I remember talking to Coach Wells back at Fan Day, and he talked about how you'll be basically staying, I think he said staying at the same hotel, doing the same kind of routine for both weeks. So do you think that'll be much easier this week, knowing that you all pretty much done this thing already?
I mean, yeah, it's always better to get into a routine and do stuff. I mean, last week, it was like a 6.5-hour drive, and that was the first one of the season. But since it's the exact same routine, we're staying at the same hotel, same breakfast, same dinner, everything's going to be the same. It's just the game's a little bit earlier, but I think it'll be a little bit easier on us this time around.
Offensively, you all were able to put up some big numbers. And Parker, everybody talks about how quiet he is, but you could tell he was fired up during that game.
Yeah, I mean, he got this new fire to him. I mean, I guess his passion's coming out a little bit. But, yeah, we came out rolling. I feel like in the past we had a tendency of starting off slow. But this game, I feel like it changed. Like, we showed everybody that we can come out hot and rolling. We just have to finish in the end.
Well, I asked Coach about how you all can carry that momentum offensively to this game. What do you think the biggest key into keeping that going against this team is going to be?
Just understanding what's coming. Like Coach McPeek said, they're going to be blitzing a lot this game. So I'm sure Coach Richmond will cue up some quick game passes, some check runs, anything that'll help us along.
Kind of like I asked TK, what was it like for you on the sidelines, not having coach there? What was was conversation good still between all the coaches to the players and such? What was that like?
I mean, not having Coach Wells on the sideline, I won't say it was detrimental, but it's definitely a presence missing when you know that somebody's not there who should be there.
What do you feel like? I mean, obviously put up a lot of yards. What's the thing that you guys focus on this week to improve from week 1 to week 2, like Coach said?
Just get better at the little stuff, because, I mean, what killed us, like TK said, was the penalties, all the false starts and the turnovers. But if we focus on the little stuff, then the big plays will come along.